Welcome to 52 Weeks of Gaming. I don't even know why I do an intro, and I'm pretty sure I said last week I don't know why I do an intro. I should just hand it off to him and then let him do the rest of the talking, but hey, then I would be out of a third of the thing that I need to record, so I'm just gonna make him deal with it. So now he has to go and follow up with me. So Nick, take it away. So this week I am continuing with sports because that's just how I do, and I'm playing some NHL 19 because I have never actually played a hockey game before. So gonna go through that, play some hockey, probably be bad at it as I always am, and we'll see how it turns out in the end. NHL 19 is the latest game in EA Sports franchise for hockey. Came out in 2018, as they always do. They come out the year before they're actually, I guess, scheduled for lack of a better term. This year's cover is PK Subban, who is from the Nashville Predators. You also have your covers for the Legendary and the Ultimate Editions, which have Wayne Gretzky from the Oilers, and different countries such as Finland and Sweden have their own covers as well, kind of for specific players, and that makes sense, and I think that's something that is very common anymore for different versions of the game to have different people on the cover. NHL 19 also introduced more of an online mode called the World of Chell, which goes and has player progression and allows you to skate pretty much for the first time on a frozen rink outside. They decided to go and improve the skating, reaction time, and all of the little bits that make hockey what it is, and it has gotten favorable reviews. It's considered something that's really enjoyable by people, and they've considered a good iteration of the game. And for a further in-depth look, we're going to send it over to Nick, and he's going to tell us what he thinks of the game. So Nick? So against, I want to say, my better judgment, I did a hockey game this week after doing a basketball game last week, and not liking sports games, so it was really just like setting a bar that I shouldn't really have done. But anywho, NHL 19 is a fantastic game. It's actually one of my favorite sports games that I've played, probably because of all the different options there are and things that you can go and do in it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a sports game and they're still not my thing, but outside of like FIFA that I absolutely love and like soccer games, I want to say that this was the most entertaining. You have so many different modes you can go into. You can do your Be a Pro, which all games have their quote Be a Pro mode, where you start out small and then join a team, and it's all about just you basically becoming a professional whatever, in this case hockey player. And so it's all about that, and doing the Stanley Cup and going between the teams and making sure that you're upgrading your skills, and you can have different abilities you can go and do, and you can kind of customize it a bit like you can always do in those modes. And then I want to say the thing that makes this super exciting for me is because there's so many different modes, as I said. So you have your Ultimate Team, which is kind of a standard for EA Sports games anymore, where it's kind of like hockey players from the past and present, and you can customize based on their skills, and you unlock different ones and kind of build up a strong team. And that's what a lot of people like going and doing, is playing that and kind of competing against each other in that world. But two things that I actually liked from this were the NHL 3s, which is just a 3v3, well, technically 4v4 because you have your goalie, but it's a 3v3, and it's much more relaxed, and you have like a money puck you can do. So it's, I guess the best way to explain it is that you have your team, which is called the Refrigerators, fantastic team name, and it's going around what they begin as the Western Circuit and then the Eastern Circuit, and you're playing each team, and you can, depending on how well you do, you can unlock their arena, jerseys, a hero, a mascot, so you can unlock a bunch of different things. And the way that their quote rules are figured out for each game is that it's a coin toss. You pick heads or tails, and if you win, you choose what the rules are. So it could be set by 3 periods and a period length, or you could set it by goals and a goal amount, and it defaults to a period length of 2 minutes. And I think it's interesting because they also add in what I said earlier as the money puck. So the money puck is something that it changes from -3 to +3. So it could add in some disparity to it. So, for example, the periods, you could be really behind someone in the game, and all of a sudden a money puck comes on, and you could blast them back down to 0 and up to 1, or depending on how many goals they have. And it's a lot, and I could see it being a fun game type because it is much lighter than the other things like the Be a Pro or franchise or seasons and that sort, or even the Ultimate. Basically every other game mode that is in it. It's much more relaxed, and I enjoy that, and I think it's a lot of fun. The other mode that I really like, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, is the World of Chell, which I'm saying Chell because it's CHEL. And it's kind of like their weird online player progression system that I don't know if other games really have, at least sports games. So like you can basically, it's like you unlock different outfits and sticks and all these different things, and there's different modes where it's like you could play against, like it's like a pro-am, I guess would be one mode. Ones, which you have 2 other people you're playing against, and it's kind of like a 1v1v1. And some other like challenges and things like that. And it's, as you play, you kind of progress your level and unlock new things. And I think it's really cool to have in a sports game. I mean, there's only so much realistically you can go and do in a sports game. And so I guess it was just kind of like a nice breath of fresh air to see something that's considered the mainstream, like the EA Sports franchise, to have something like this in it. And that's why I loved it, and that's why, really, again, behind FIFA, it's my second favorite sports franchise that I've really played. I mean, Madden's not bad, but no, I really liked NHL, and for how little that I know about hockey, like rule-wise, I want to say it's one I probably know the least. I really enjoyed it, and it was a fun game. And yeah, sure, as all sports games, I got tired of it probably about like 3/4 of the way through the week. But there's so many different modes that I think if I was more invested in hockey itself, I would enjoy it more. And that's on me for that, and that's always the fault of sports games is just me not wanting to really do the sports game. As always, who do you think would want to go and play a game like this, like a hockey game? I think any hockey fan would absolutely go and love it, because you have all these teams that are in the NHL, the AHL, all the different leagues from around the world. So that's always nice that the EA Sports people go and put those in there. So even where I am, I saw the local team there, and I was like, hey, I can play as them, and that's really cool and a nice touch that's always available. I think sports fans in general would enjoy it because of like Ultimate Teams and the competitiveness that is sports as a whole, and anyone who wants to try hockey or just play a nice little sports game. It's something I would say for people to go and try out at least. It might not be for everyone. I don't think it is for everyone, but I think at least most people get some sense of enjoyment out of it, at least for a little while. Do you think you're going to go and keep playing it? I know you have a kind of rough feeling about sports games, but do you think this is something you're going to keep playing in the future? I don't know if I'm going to go and keep playing it. There are the different modes, so I might go and kind of mess around with it here and there, but it's not something like other games that I've played in the past, like Titanfall, for example, where I'm going to keep going back to it because I absolutely love it. It's something that I'm kind of just like, okay, it's a sports game. I might go and check it out occasionally, but I'm not fully set on playing it and spending a ton of time in it. But that's just my view on it. It is a fantastic game. I think it's really well done. I think for someone who doesn't know that much about hockey, to be able to kind of learn the different shots there are, and there's this whole thing in the beginning with Team Canada and Hockey Canada, and they kind of introduce you in a tutorial on how basically hockey works, the moves, the different kind of shots and defensive things, and how to do different blocks so you don't cause a penalty, even though I caused way too many penalties. But it's interesting, and I think it's really good for people who are curious about hockey to go and play. And so I might check it out, but I can't guarantee that. But it definitely is a sports game that has left a good taste in my mouth, I guess is the best way to put that.